Learner-centered is the perspective that couples focus on individual learners, their heredity, experience, talents, perspective backgrounds, needs, interests, capacities. With a focus on learning, the best available knowledge about learning and how it occurs and about teaching practices. These are the importance in applying the learner-centered practices and promote students' motivation and learning. So the first one is readiness. Readiness is a willingness to do something. Second is exercise. So we will work things out. The third one is the effect or the consequences of an action. So the fourth is primacy, or it is the more important. So the sixth is the intensity, the strength, or the concentration, and the great energy. So the last one is the freedom, or free on self-determination. LCPs in teacher educators with opportunities to model learner-centered practices and promote students' motivation and learning. We have 14 learning-centered principles. Principle number 1 is nature of learning process. The learning of complex subject matter is the most effective when it is an intentional process of constructing meaning from information and experience. Principle 2 is the goals of learning process. The successful learner, over time and with support and instructional guidance, can create a meaningful, coherent representations of knowledge. Principle number 3, construction of knowledge. The successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge in meaningful ways. Principle number 4, strategic thinking. A successful learner can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning goals. Principle number 5, thinking about thinking. Higher order strategies for selecting and monitoring mental operations facilitate creative and critical thinking. Principle 6, context of learning. Learning is influenced by environment factors including culture, technology, and instructional processes. Principle number 7, motivational and emotional influences on learning. What and how much is learned is influenced by learners' motivation. Motivation to learn, in turn, is influenced by the individual's emotional states, beliefs, interests, and goals. Habits of thinking. Principle 8, intrinsic motivation to learn. Learners' creativity, high-order thinking, and natural curiosity all contribute to motivation to learn. Principle 9, the effects of motivation and effort. Acquisition of complex knowledge and skills, it requires extended learner effort and guided practice. Without learners' motivation to learn, the willingness to exert this effort is unlikely without coercion. And developmental influence on learning. As individuals develop, they encounter different opportunities and experience different constraints for learning. So learning is the most effective when differential development within and across physical, intellectual, emotional, and social domains is taken into account. 11. Social influences on learning. Is influenced by social interactions, interpersonal relations, and communication with others. 12. Individual differences in learning. This principle, learners' different strategies, approaches, and capabilities for learning are a function of prior to experience and heredity. Principle 13, learning and diversity. It is is the most effective when differences in learners' linguistic, cultural, and social backgrounds are taken into account. Principle 14, last but not the least, are the standards and assessment. That's all for today. Thank you for listening and goodbye. Thank you.